One thing is that I would also say is that get the realtor in first before you start doing any renovations, any updates yourself. Is that we a lot of times will walk in and give you guidance on what's going to give you the best return on your time, on your money, all those
That's a
kind of
good point.
things.
Yeah, a lot of times people time and money into stuff that's going to get them no return, while they should have focused on something else that would have cost way less, taken less time, and got them a
Yeah.
better return. But yeah, I'd say if you're looking at listing in the spring, getting an evaluation done now, start working on it, and then figuring out what your next steps are.
Right. How about coming up with a game plan? Well, we're back here again with my brother Greg. We're going to do a little bit of a market update for you and also touch base on some of those winter tips and maybe some of those prep ideas and how long that they take for getting your house ready for sale. So, Greg, can you give us a little bit of idea of what's happened in the last month of real estate?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I think that I think we talked about this a little bit last month. Is that there is a little bit of buyer fatigue weighing in, where there's a lot of people that have been looking for a long period of time and just decided to maybe slow down and just put their kind of search on hold, or maybe not panic into it. But there's just as many properties that are selling, and our actual inventory and the amount of listings that we currently have on the market are actually going down. So in no way do I think our market will be lowering in price. It's just that sometimes maybe we don't have as many people bidding on a property that needs as much work done to it. And I think we talked about this the other day, looking into what happened last year. And the fall did slow down last year. And then I think February came, and then all of a sudden the market started to, I don't know, what would you call it?
I'm just curious about what phrase you're going to use.
Yeah, it's almost like it exploded.
Yeah.
It's almost like it was waiting for interest rates to go down. It was waiting for all these other factors. I think we dropped to like under 400, around 350, and that includes anything from like a condo mobile home to a $5 million property, right? So when you're sitting at 350 listings,
Active listings,
active listings, I mean, it means there's nothing to choose from. And so then that kind of set off, I guess, the spring market.
Right.
And where we're seeing right now, I mean, with tariffs, with the budget, with all the other cities kind of seeing a decline in property prices and an increase in the inventory, a lot of people are still hoping that it's going to happen here, but that's not what we're seeing.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Like even in October, like we're midway through the November right now, but even in October we had a higher number of new listings come on the market, but they were gone just as fast as they came on, right? I do think that we are going to be seeing a time where we do have less listings on the market for the next couple months, and truthfully, listings are just going to continue to dwindle at this point in the year, right? As that less things are coming to the market. Right now, to give you an idea, is that we have 621 active listings on the market. 360 detached homes, only 90, townhouses, and 150 condos, right? So when we start looking at that, I do expect that we probably will see things come down to that 450, 500 mark in the next little bit. But yeah, spring looks like it's going to be pretty hot though in the big scheme of things.
Yeah, a lot of people say, well, like, will we see more listings? And I think you will, but I think where we're sitting a little bit in Saskatoon is that there's a lot of people still that are migrating here. It's not from immigration, it's from migrating here because of either work or retirement. And what we're seeing is that there's a lot of people holding off listing their houses until they find something.
Okay.
So the amount of properties would normally coming to market where they sell first and then buy later doesn't happen. So we're not seeing that massive influx in the spring unless somebody finds a property, right? And I think that we need builders to build more, because that's going to be the only way of really increasing that inventory. And from what I'm seeing right now, I don't see the spring bringing a lot of new houses to market. I mean,
No, I don't. And also in the spring is that you're going to see more houses coming to the market, right? But you're also having that much more competition out there as well too, right? Like no one really wants to move in the winter. But the funny thing is that we have clients that have been searching for some of them 3 months, some of them 2 years, right? So you don't really get the choice a lot of times to choose when you're going to sell in today's market. The nice thing is that our market, it's not going down, is that we definitely have the demand for properties out there. And to me is that anything good that's getting listed is going still in the first day or two. Like, what are we looking at for stats wise? Is that, would you say 50% are going within 500,000 or 5,000 or over list price?
Yeah, I think that a lot of the breakdown here is that there's still, if the property's priced right, it's still selling over list price right now. I mean, it's hard because we're now getting people that are overpricing properties more than they have in the past couple of years, just because I think we've now found a price point that have made it so it's unattainable for people to buy out of that price point, right? So now they're being more cautious on where they're at because of the property price increase. But then, as a seller, you're like, well, the market's amazing, I'm just going to price it higher.
Right.
And we're not seeing, unless it's an awesome house like we've talked about before that's fully renovated and people don't need to do anything, you're not getting that premium return.
No, understandable. So in the next couple months, is that, for us, I know that we talked a little bit about, we're going to talk about some prep work. What are some things that people would be looking for in the winter that, if you have to sell in the winter, there's still a lot of activity out there. What are some things that you notice that people must do in the winter?
Right.
So you're getting that warm feeling when you're walking in. And
so I think that another question that people do ask us, and I'll answer that one as well, is when's the best time to sell? And I guess it's when you're comfortable moving on to that next property and you have a plan. And so there will be a lot of people that are selling their properties in the winter. So to answer your question, what are things that make it show better in the winter? I find that people that, just for one thing that they could do is put away all your pots for all your plants, right? Like having all your pots all over your walkway and on your front driveway and the rest of it doesn't show well. It's harder to shovel. And when we have big snowfalls, it's just hard to navigate around, right? And the thing is, when a property is shoveled and with no ice, the property will show a lot better with photos, and then also accessibility, because the way our winters go nowadays, you'll get a snowfall and then it'll warm up, and if you don't have that the snow removed immediately, it'll turn into ice, and then good luck for the next 6 months removing that ice, right? So I think that's one of the big factors is like just removing all those extra things. Also, probably your outdoor patio furniture, right? Your outdoor patio furniture.
If you haven't put it away already.
Yeah. And if you have, and you're looking at selling in the winter, put it even to the side of even if you don't put it away, put it to the side along the fence or something else so that it's away, so that people can then navigate and pictures show better outside.
Well, and in reference to all these things, it also gives a better first impression for people. Like when you're walking through a clean, walkway rather than almost slipping on ice, is you're actually taking a look at the house, right? It's just like why we show houses during the day, so we can actually see the exterior, right? When we're staring down at our feet trying to, not slip, is that makes a big difference. So those are all good points, Greg. There's a lot of prep work that's done in properties, right? So what's the kind of timelines? Like for my clients, is that we can be anywhere from, depending on how much work needs to be done, we can be from 2 weeks to, I don't know, 4 or 5 months to get things ready to go.
Even
right?
a year.
So of course, right? So what's your, I always, I know we work a lot off of systems, right? And so what would be your guidance for people that, what kind of timelines and when should they bring someone in to, say, have us do an evaluation for them?
I think sooner is better. I think figuring out which realtor you're going to work with, and then figuring out once you've picked that realtor, is to figure out like a timeline to be able to get this done. And I always say that there's never too much time. So, it's always easier if you have more time to be able to do the things that you need to do. We're going to be running into the holiday season. So sometimes if you can get those things done, that's going to make your house more appealable appealing. Sorry, I don't think appealable is a word. Appealing in the new year, it's maybe worth doing it before Christmas, because then actually you get to reap the rewards of how your property shows, right?
Right.
A lot of times people are saying like, oh, I wish I did this before. So getting it done ahead of time and starting to declutter and so forth. I mean, if you've lived in your house for a long period of time, it's a lot more work than you actually think it is. So getting an evaluation done, understanding what the process is, what you need to do, and then figuring out, I guess, the timelines to what year's your ideal time to sell is.
Right.
But I'd always say do it as soon as possible.
Yeah. One thing is that I would also say is that get the realtor in first before you start doing any renovations, any updates yourself. Is that we a lot of times will walk in and give you guidance on what's going to give you the best return on your time, on your money, all those
That's a
kind of
good
things.
point. Yeah, a lot of times people put time and money into stuff that's going to get them no return, while they should have focused on something else that would have cost way less, taken less time, and got them a better
Yeah,
return.
I do like your idea is that there's, sooner is better, just because, just like we were referencing with what needs to be done is different on every different property. There's also things when you're looking at like, getting the appraisal done that gives you a ballpark on where you're going to move with your financing, what you can afford in your next property. So it's not just about the prep of your home, but there's also other things that take a while for you to also understand the market. Is that I find that's a lot of it where people, they walk in and they might see the perfect house for them, but they don't understand the market and where things are at in today's current market, right? So I think that there's a learning curve and there's a progression of how this works as
I
well too.
agree, especially in today's market where things move so fast. It really helps being able to start looking at properties maybe before you're ideally ready, so that you can understand how fast these properties are selling and what they're selling for. So as you're doing this research, you're then also preparing your property so that when that right property comes up, you are ready in the spring,
Yeah.
right? And I think it makes a big difference, because I mean, to get a property ready with everybody living busy lives and so forth, it doesn't happen in 2 to 3 weeks. And if it does, it is super stressful. And we've never had someone say they love doing it.
Well, and I think that the big problem with that is our market moves extremely fast. Is that when you find that right house and you've got, all your ducks in a row, and say you do not have your house ready to put it on the market, is that's where the stress level really comes in. And so for us is that kind of having those steps, that strategy of how we're going to move forward, it pays its dividends in the long run.
Yeah, we're working with a lot of people right now that are looking at selling in the spring, and so they're just seeing what they need to do. If they need to bring in a painter, if they need to finish off a bathroom, if they need to renovate a bathroom. And so that takes time, right? And so that's
sure.
going to at least take you another 5 to 6 months to be able to do that, because you need to if you're not going to do it yourself, you're going to have to find a trade person. And so then, I mean, you're looking at just 2 to 3 months just getting that person in and doing the work. So
Right.
it's and we have those tradespeople that we can refer to our clients, because we've worked with them and we trust them and we know that they're going to do a great job. So I think that's one of the biggest factors. But yeah, I'd say if you're looking at listing in the spring, getting an evaluation done now, start working on it, and then figuring out what your next steps are.
Right. All about coming up with a game plan. Well, thanks, Greg. Is that this has been enlightening as always.
Yeah, it's a real treat hanging out with you once again.
I don't get enough of it. That's for sure. So, thanks again. If you are looking, please reach out to either Greg or I. Would be happy to guide you through the process and give you our professional opinion on how we can help.
Thanks a lot. Have a great day.